Afamobo Norma, Tata, live in the Voice of the East studio, but the king of Ofowere. I know what you are thinking. He's here, all right? On Eba, live. And I niaga bankata, nefifia kai wegwata, one or two things about our favorite influencer, content creator, entertainer, and most importantly, chef. All right? In the person of Joe Pondek. Wow, mama. Joe, you're welcome to Voice of the East Studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm thinking it's not your first time in Enugu, right?
I've come here several times to do different things. But what I have not done is
look at that. So you've not experienced our Oringo system.
I've done a lot of catering services. I've done a lot of influencing for some businesses here.
Okay. Voice of the East. I'm sorry. For the sake of this interview, I will be digging out my Owerri accent. So try to enjoy with us this afternoon. So in the Voice of the East, Ania Bamboka, Joe Pondek, Mama Kobia. That experience here, the Enugu Oringo. You are very welcome, Joe. Okay, so we saw you at the African Magic Choice Awards. Did you see him? Okay, so the suit, right? Okay, he had all that going on. You were dazzling. All right, of course, I didn't expect anything less because, you know, you have your fashion going on for you. And I like when you make the fashion police thing. That's very funny. I like that stuff. I don't know why you stopped. Why did you stop doing it?
I didn't really stop.
Okay.
I am more selective now with what event to rate.
Okay. All right. So you were there at the African Magic Choice Awards. In fact, we noticed that a lot of people from the Southeast, media houses, content creators, influencers, especially in the East, actors, musicians from here, were well represented.
Sure.
Okay. Did you like the ideology?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, the truth is, we have a lot of creative people in the East. We have, I don't know if you know the song that says, we will be many. We are a lot of us. But the only problem is, when they gain visibility and there is demand in the market, they tend to run away for proximity's sake because most of this demand usually comes from Lagos. But it's just beautiful to know that even in the Lagos markets, the Lagos market, and it's just so beautiful looking at the top designers, looking at the best clothes, looking at, best actresses, a lot. We were fully present. But the only problem I had is that some of them were already based in Lagos.
Okay.
But for some of us who came from the East to come and, show up, because I don't base in Lagos, but you would think I base in Lagos because I always get demands from Lagos. Imagine you are in the book and they invite you for AMVCA or an invitation, not because you have something, you are based in Lagos. No, you are somewhere else, just shining from the East, and then they invite you. Is a flex.
So do you think this is encouraging for our people down here in the Southeast?
Yes, I think it's encouraging. Do your thing and shine. Do your thing. You can shine from anywhere. You can shine from anywhere. And some people don't even know that, it's actually, your demand will be higher if you're not too close to Lagos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That seems contrary to some of the ideologies that are passed around here sometimes.
It depends on what you're doing, really, but the demand is higher and, the competition is lesser, and you as a creative, you are more relaxed. You are in your creative zone. It's just easier to do a lot of things. To navigate Lagos is not a joke.
I am aware, it seems.
So if you're struggling in the East, you will struggle in Lagos.
Abi?
Yeah, so I feel like there's really no need for you to. Monetization is for everywhere, and you, like me, you can be invited for these events that are, national, internationally rated, really. And that's it.
Okay, so the Asaba Nollywood version, the Asaba side of the industry, they were well represented this year.
Yes.
Do you think it will help the entertainment industry really?
Yes, I think it's very helpful. And why, I don't know why there is always a question about when you are in the East or you are in Lagos. Visibility is for everywhere, every location. There is no way you will stand, you will have visibility.
That young people don't really think that.
There is no way you can be, except you don't have what that market needs. I'm telling you from experience.
I actually believe you because I followed this man. You have no idea how much I followed this man all the way from Facebook when you were... Just leave me alone. Anyways, let's talk about your business in Owerri. So now you are a CEO of Joseph's Pot, right? It's amazing. We've heard beautiful things. I haven't been able to come because I want to be there, right? But I've seen amazing things and I've heard amazing things. And just like we were talking about, the business ideology of the East, the visibility, the challenges. So there's a lot of, if you had done it in Lagos, it probably would have. So what's your experience? What are the challenges you've experienced doing business in the East?
To be honest, the rumors are true. Yes, the rumors are true. And one thing I've promised myself is never to sugarcoat the experience we have in the East when I have the opportunity to do that. But another good thing I like to tell people is that we are part of the system.
Okay.
We are built here. We were raised here. So there is nothing new to you. There is nothing you cannot survive. You know, when they say the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. So this is where I was practically raised, and I decided that I'm going to grow here regardless. This land will favor me, and it did. Now the truth is, when you move out of this place, you might do better or you might do less, right?
Might.
Yes, might. But the truth is, you can break grounds in the East. You can break grounds in the East, especially, but it's career sensitive. It depends on what you're doing. For Imo State, and you don't worry. You know, whatever you do with food, it will fly. And just recently, content creation is bringing Lagos to Owerri because now there's this demand for videographers, you know, demand for stylists, fashion. So, you know, Aba is also shining now because Aba is that fashion hub in the, I don't know if that came out right, but that's where you get a lot of clothing. So in the East, they are shining as well. So to answer your question, right, you can do better anywhere. But if you're doing great in the East, just keep doing what you're doing. Just don't run away. Don't run away.
The way he said that.
Don't run away, but the rumors are true.
How challenging on a scale of 1 to 10?
Challenging? It's on a 9.5, to be honest. It's on a 9.5, to be honest, especially, I don't know why it feels like you now need to know somebody.
Down here.
You now need to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody before you can be successful and be at peace.
In our Southeast.
Yes. It's very, you have to just know a lot of people.
Do you have any idea why that is? Any factors?
I think it's a generational thing, right? Okay. It's a generational thing because every state must have had their fair share of bad government. At least before they see the lights, they were in dark. I mean, that's the only time you can see a light and say, okay, this is light, right? So it's just like what the governor of Abia State is doing now. There's just so much excitement around his leadership. Likewise, Enugu State, there's so much PR. It gets better someday. Okay. But if you're not fortunate to have that light at this time, I encourage you to just keep shining your lights, keep doing what you can do. But the truth is that, because I don't know where this is going to go.
It's not going anywhere.
It is what it is for us in Imo State right now. And I am praying for not just my business, for every other business owner that God will see all of us through.
Amen to that. Now, I am asking this because there's a lot of young people who actually believe more Mahaga Lagos, more ga Abuja, they will not be successful in their business. And then there are people like you, you know, there are people like my boss and other nice young Igbo men and women who are trying to bring it back home. But we've realized challenges, a lot of them.
A lot.
That's why we want to know.
Like even for a business, there is now I am being careful whenever I talk about bad PR or whenever I'm trying to dig into the dark side of anything at all, any topic. I like to be very specific. So I don't want to now say the East and then involve Anambra, Enugu, and no. I'm just going to concentrate in Imo State because that's where I have my first-hand experience, right? There is low human resource. Like to get a quality person to work for you, it's as if every sensible person moved to Lagos.
Oh yeah.
That's number one. And then let's get to number two, which is the enabling environment. It's almost as if there is no enabling environment, especially when you are hitting some level of visibility. I've had people pay people to come and give me a bad PR.
Paid?
Yes, I've had them pay up. And you know one thing about the movement of an enemies, their ways are usually very dark and slippery. So even when they sleep, they won't know. They will just leave those prints. I've had a lot of challenges. I've had a lot of challenges because of this visibility that I have.
Really?
That I have worked so hard for.
You would really expect that other, people will be happy and even encouraged or inspired.
Yeah. So before now, nobody knows what Ofo is like. And that's a conversation nobody wants to have. Nobody knows when they mention egusi, you know what egusi looks like. Yes. So you know what to expect in a restaurant until I woke up one morning and I said, you know what, while every other person is dancing around fisherman and fisherman soup is leaving the riverine areas and then coming into the east and all of those places where we don't even have crafts, how about we just, go back to Ofo?
I must thank you because outside introducing this soup to other Nigerians, you actually taught Imo State women how to make it properly. So I have to give you props for that.
So we brought in this and we gave it a PR. And for the first time here, the Basi added it to her course outwear.
So
she has never done that before. And there's just a lot of restaurants trying to create it. I don't have a problem with anybody trying to recreate or tap into my publicity. But I do have a problem when you're making effort to bring me down.
And that has happened.
It has happened several times and we're just surviving it.
Whoa.
It has happened several times. So we have human resource situation going on and then we also have security situation going on. So it's these are the factors, but we are here. So we're here. If we can survive this, you can survive any other place. These are the problems we are facing. It's just crazy.
Okay, so I was going to ask you to, tell us a story, but because you mentioned PR and then we've talked about it, I'd like us to finish up with it. There was one particular content about Joseph's pot that went viral on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. And it was when the food critic Opeyemi visited.
Yes.
He said beautiful things. You could see him eating and you could tell that he was having the time of his life. And we were so happy to see that because we didn't even know that Opeyemi would go to places that are not so touche, as he would say, or fancy, to see him be at a local Igbo restaurant and eating and having a good time. It was very, very beautiful. And a lot of people were happy to see that collaboration now. Do you have anything else cooking? Are we to expect to see more collaborations?
So that collaboration ushered us into friendship. So I'm in contact with him and just creating content with him now is a whole lot more easier. Contacting him is a whole lot more easier. And you know how big Opeyemi is.
Oh, yeah.
So yes. And that goes a long way to send a simple message, which is wherever you are, hold it down there. If we all go to Lagos, there will be no Imo State for Opeyemi to come on. And there will be no bars. Most of the restaurants you visit in Lagos, they don't have that bars. don't have that. It's just something about decoding a location. He was able to come into Imo State and he decoded that location, showing people that something beautiful is actually happening here. Now, imagine if you move this one beautiful thing away and then you want to go and join the crowd there. And there is nothing to come back to.
Oh my.
So it's just anybody, wherever you are, just stay there and shine. The world is watching. Everybody is watching. It might not be now, but people are watching. Just keep at it.
You heard from the man himself. Okay, so Joe, Biko. Your story is, I don't know if people have followed you, but I was one of the people who followed, and over time I was full of applause because, just like you said, if you're doing it right, the right people will find you. Tell us, how did you start all of this? Because Ilanya, a lot of young Nigerians, they're almost helpless. The idea of looking forward into the future, they're a little bleak if you look at what's happening around us. Can you tell us how you were able to?
Well, before I get into details, I'm just going to summarize by saying, Onye chori bulu ga bulu, to be honest. Onye chori balo.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So now when I started, it, like growing up, it has always been like very serious roller coaster. But, you just have to look back and then tell yourself the truth. Do I have that, am I going to have my uncle sent me 10 million naira in my history? Do I have that kind of background? You just have to tell yourself the truth and really soil your hand in hard work. Do you understand it? No, I have never had to sit down and paint my life out. I've never done that before. Do away God. This is what we're going to do. At this point, we move from teaching to cooking. No, I was just that guy who gives my best. These days, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants 6 to 9. But we always hear people talk about consistency. You really think you can practice consistency in the 6 to 9, 9 to 5? How do they say?
Maybe on your phone.
9 to 5. You cannot really have a taste of 9 to 5 if you've never worked for anyone. That is one truth nobody will tell you. Because when you work for somebody, that is the only time you can wake up even when you don't feel like. On your own, if you have the absolute control over your consistency theory, if you have absolute, you can wake up one minute and feel like, I will not do this today, I'm tired. But if you're under 9 to 5, you will be very consistent. And that trains your mind, gives you mental strength. You know all this trolling online? It wake up Wednesday. If you do not have mental strength, if you don't have the mental capacity, imagine being trolled and you still come out the next day to create content, to still do what you do. So I'm just trying to challenge.
Please, go ahead.
So I moved from being a teacher, and then there was COVID-19. Yes, I was a teacher. So I moved from being a teacher, and then during COVID-19, there was a break. And then we had to just stay at home, and then we were working from the house. I decided to tap into the, what was that? There's this set of people allowed to walk around during COVID-19. Essential service.
Essential workers.
Essential workers. Thank you so much. So, you're allowed to take food to people. So I started making noodles. Yes, I would make noodles and send to people. It just started out of kindness. Someone visited me, and then I made noodles for them. Casually, we posted on Facebook, and someone casually, of course, it was not a very serious thing, casually asked me to bring for them, and I did the same thing, and I reposted, and that's how we got to where we are today. So when we post, when we cook, we show people that we have cooked, and because we are giving it the best, those people who cooked for, they talk about it, that this guy actually delivered. He's good at what he does. And that's how we moved from being a teacher to being a night vendor for noodles. Noodles were the boss brand. And then we moved from that to a full-time noodles store. From there, my customers started making extra demands. They felt like, if you're so good with noodles, spag, let's see what your rice will taste like. That was how we got into native rice. And then from native rice, we started doing fried rice. I started attending classes online.
Okay.
The business just grew fast. In 3 years, we just moved into that bigger place. Like, the first year was my kitchen. The second year was that small kiosk. And the third year we moved to where we are right now.
Would you say that you had followed your instincts through this journey?
Yes, I will. I would say that I followed my instincts. I've always known what is working. You have to just follow your instincts, and that your instincts better surround, doing more, getting better. I've always followed my instincts, and it works for me.
This is very inspiring. At some point, I felt like crying because I'm someone I can relate with starting from this scratch, and it's amazing to see that people actually get to where they want to go. And you're a good example. And now I remember seeing those teaching videos. Now, what I want to ask is probably out of the business, but do you make your voice covers for your videos? They are quite hilarious. Do you make them before or after the videos?
I make them after the videos, but then there is always a picture in my head.
Okay.
Into this environment, as a creative, I already know how to describe this place.
Because I must tell you, the way you describe the video, your excitement is really, really like out there. The person gets excited with you while you're talking, you're narrating videos. It's amazing. All right. So, Apa Jopondek Mama Kagene, the king of Ofo in Nigeria. Anywhere. You understand? It no matter who could come for you. If not be Jopondek, na could come. It's not gonna give me. It's not gonna give. Before Mahafia, I have just two more questions very briefly, right? You have mentioned the challenges in a business na labor na cost young people. Any advice or recommendation or something that you have picked up that we can pass on to younger people who are looking up to you, looking up to the precedents you people have set, right? They are hoping to achieve like you have. What can you say to them?
That apprentice thing, it's still real.
Okay.
It's still real.
Okay.
You have to serve before you will be served, to be honest. And that is what most of us don't want to do. Most of our young people, they don't want
We have our phones. We are trying to create content. That's what we're
most
told.
of them, they just want to. A lot of people, a lot of WhatsApp CEOs are just people who are not compatible with rules. They don't want to work. They don't want to wake up in the morning and answer SAMA. So they just go on WhatsApp and open business. And how are you thriving? You don't have any idea. You don't know what it feels like to run a business. You have never stayed under a structured leadership, business leadership. There are lots to learn. What people see outside is not what happens inside, to be honest. What you're seeing outside is a beautiful PR. There by a network. You don't know the heat we have to go through inside. Now, that is what people run away from, and that's where they miss it. If you're listening to me, you want to start up something. You want to be big. You want to be a CEO. Tap under somebody. Go and serve. Liapa lobby. Take the inconveniences. Take that shouting. Wake up in the morning. Set that alarm. Only then can you test what consistency feels like. So most of our big people from stealing might not willingly teach you if they don't want to use you as steal. So the reality is, genuine business is the only way out. That's the only way you can test that wealth that gives you peace. But how will you get it?
Powerful words.
So this is where you clap.
We are going to clap. Okay, so now that you've mentioned it, a lot of people on Anishi, is Joe on deck willing to take on young apprentices from around here?
Yes, as long as you're willing to serve. I mean, we've gotten to the point where business is all oversized right now for one person.
Okay.
And the only way to move on is just to mentor people. Do you understand? Genuine people, really. Because even though your intention is to learn and start your own, let that not becloud the process. You are Ediga Goji or Anna Chikujilagi, you're not learning to help that your master well. You're learning because, I can't wait to just learn this thing and run away. Do you understand it? But what we fail to get is that when it comes to mentorship, there are a lot of blurry lines. There are a lot
Could you just point them?
like when I want to mentor you, I will never tell you that, good morning. Today I want to teach you how to handle sudden occurrences. A customer slapping our staff. I want to teach you how to handle 50 people come into this place unexpected. I want to teach you how to handle hot pot in case you are party. I want to teach you how to handle These are the blurry lines. Okay. And you can only experience it on the go. So you need to pay attention with a good heart. Watch your boss. How is that man handling those emergencies? It's just like someone who is learning from me. Recently, someone came to Joseph's spot and they found something in the dry fish head. The management handled this as much as they could.
Okay.
In fact, went as far as saying, do not pay for this soup. But we are in this internet era where people just want to trend for negative reasons. And I don't blame them because right now, but if I just stand up and remove this my shot, shake utula, this video will be everywhere.
And
So the lady understood that is the only way to gain visibility by tapping into our audience. Yeah, they post to it. And then I reached out and I apologized, and she still posted it because she knows that this is a well talked about restaurant.
Funny enough, did you see what people did to her when she did?
That was because of my response.
I think it's because of the way you are also doing your business.
I was at my calmest. Ordinarily, I would just stand up and start shouting. You know, all those kind of things. I was in my calmest and then I handled it. I won't, if you asked me a few days ago, I won't tell you that that's how I'll handle it. I will probably tell you I will arrest her if anybody tries that. But these are the blurring lines. Now you know that shouting will not help it. Did we plan it? No. But because you're watching it closely with a clean heart, should something like that happen to you tomorrow, you know what to do because that's how your boss handled it.
Wow.
But now you have to settle your mind. You might not even pay attention to that. You won't even see it as a strength. You won't see it as a very smart thing to do. You probably think, he's so weak. That's why he handled it like that. So you have to go and serve someone you think is doing something genuine. Right? And serve them with a good heart. Study their process, understand it, and be helpful to them. Because when you carry the blessings of your master, you are nothing like, doing that business and you now encounter something that you've never seen your Oga encounter. And you call him saying, this is what I'm facing. Yes. They will tell you. Because they will know to them. You serve them well. They will tell you what to do. So whoever you're serving, I know now we will establish serving somebody.
Yes.
Will be able to serve well and absorb the pressure.
So there is pressure.
There will be pressure now.
Yes.
There will be pressure because one thing what people don't see when you come to the Joseph Sports restaurant and then there's a lot of crowd. Whenever you see me outside the lobby, I'm carrying food and I'm like, thank you so much. They are telling you, I see you online. I'm like, and you came. People will come for you. Thank you so much. Once you drop that food, get into the kitchen. If you see my face, what is going on? Bring that one, put it there, remove it. Have you seen it now? That you have to take the pressure. People inside there, the kitchen is hot. Kitchen ain't with AC. It's people like AC or got work because you're close to the pot. It's always hot. So you need to take that pressure. It's only that time that you can start your own and understand what it feels like for somebody to be there. And I'm pressure now.
Why?
I'm under pressure in my kitchen. Do you know, even the first time I started my teaching career, I was a cook. The first school I taught, I introduced feeding in the school.
Nice.
Out of kindness.
So you have built what they call business integrity.
A child forgot his lunch pack.
Okay.
And I made food for that child. And you know how children can be. Ojilekela Bessie school with Tilly.
Oh my.
He's the one uncle. And being a new school, they had, goodness. I don't think we were even up to 30. So the management was so eager to do anything to retain customers. So he said, oh, they like your food. Oh, it's good. Congratulations.
Look at that.
And then we now had to employ more cooks, and that was hard.
In the school.
So when you carry Job Yorkshire, it means something. It's not about what you're doing now. You're just preparing your mind. Mental strength is one thing people don't talk about. You can't even talk about consistency, and you're not talking about mental strength. Because consistency is not food that you buy. It's not a room you walk into. It's all in the mind. So if you are not strong here, if you're easily broken here, you can build this place and this place will go down. And they don't even have to point gun at you. They just have to get into your mind and destroy you.
Whoa. Okwa Jopondek nwa mama. King of Ofo were in Nigeria. Kina no maka. Kona wagi these things, and I hope na nyebu young people na ine egenti. Because apa onye no n'ime mmiri ncha na akwa abịa anya. So you have opportunities to hear from men like this who have come out from that thing n'ino n'ime ha pụtala ha wa n'ụzọ pụta gewenti genuzie ama. Dede, before you leave, right? Achọm kinye general advice to young Nigerians. All would anyone die an area and this country now? Because do you have anything for young people? You've said a lot about consistency and servitude and so many things. Do a general one now for everybody.
Okay, so my fellow young people, my fellow young Nigerians, I just wanted to start on the lighter note. How will you make it? Mishake. But wait to obi nekonbute. There is no such thing. I mean, at least for me, I don't know about it. Even I don't think anybody in my family does not work. They didn't work for anybody in my family. So the one that worked for me, that's what I tell you. So as some community genuine, you can be the most powerful shoemaker. You can be you can see those things you look down on. You can be the best in it. And guess what? The world will look for you because the world is looking for the best. So it doesn't matter what you do. So with your packaging. Packaging is good, but until you get where you can afford luxury, entire flight and all of that. But go and look for target one genuine thing that is very essential in the society. Make research, do it so well. I don't want to swear. I promise you, if you're good at it, the world will look for you. The world will just look for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe Pondek. Manem, thank you for coming. You have made us so happy in the studio today. Kepalanti, magi gado were mo gi garije lota Nigeria. Ane gabe were gaga na Joseph Sport gari ofo were. The original, the final bus stop of Ofowere in Imo State. Me gabe hundia. Agano me koroga koro. Ga jokwi begi ka hanye gi the advice. But this is where we will end this beautiful interview today. Thank you so much, Joe, for coming.
Thank you. Like you said, I'm open to apprentice.
So
education.
I chop more because like this now I'm reconsidering my career. We can marry like 3 years like this. Joe up of fame. Okay, but thank you so much for coming out today. And I promise you that next time you come, Voice of the East is going to take you to where you're going to experience the Enugu Oringo. Thank you so much for joining us.